All right, everyone. Happy Friday. I am so happy that you're here. Today, we have such a special guest, personal friend of mine, Corene Summers. She is one of the 11 female entrepreneurs to know, cited by Yahoo, along with Brene Brown. She has made such an impact, and she calls herself, she does many things, but mostly she helps wellness entrepreneurs align themselves and be their truest selves, right? So she does manifestation, business coaching, and I'm so happy to have her here today to talk about something very, very specific, which is how the hell do we digitally detox? How do we get into the frame of mind where we're not on our phones and just chasing those numbers? I know I've been there. I've been guilty of it too. And today I'm so happy to have someone here to tell us how we can digitally detox and actually use that to create more power, more freedom, and more abundance. Thank you so much, Corene, for being here. And I'm so excited that you're here with us, Corene.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. I absolutely adore you and this community. It's been a joy and honor to be a part of it. And I'm really excited to be able to share some things that have really helped my clients today.
So we chatted the other day, and you told me about how you were able to obviously grow your Instagram organically. And look, there are so many ways and tips and tricks to grow your Instagram, but we're actually going to talk about the opposite, which is how do you not become a slave to content? And I know this is something that resonates with me because I'm being told from my team all day, you need to be on Pinterest, you need to be on TikTok. And it's like, I literally cannot. So tell us about how you built a following and how you ultimately found peace within that relationship. And then maybe go into some of the mistakes that we make as entrepreneurs trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, this is a big topic. I see in our world, there's constantly new platforms to be on, and there's, more stimulus, more things to chase, over and over and over again. Like you said, your team, suggesting, oh, you have to be on Pinterest and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. It gets really, really overwhelming. And especially as a new entrepreneur, I think it's easy to get swept up. I see this with my clients all the time. It's easy to get swept up with thinking that you have to be present on all of those platforms and that you have to be constantly recreating new content, more. But that really leads us into burnout and I think it can distract us from our target market, our ideal client. It can, we can start chasing what other people are doing and move away from our own message and our own power of what we created or why we created our business to begin with. So one of my top tips is do not scroll before you post. Getting connected with your back to the connection of your business and what your message is. If you go on Instagram first and start to scroll and see what other people are doing, and you may be following people that are in a similar line of business as you, it can be so easy to then get distracted from your core message. And then that's going to alienate you or disconnect you from your ideal client. I call them, your soul client, the people that are really meant for you and that need to hear your truest message and what you're really here, who you're really here to serve, or what you're really meant to put out there in the world. So I always say it's best if you can do something that really lifts you up and creates joy in yourself before you sit down and try to create content or put something out there on social media. So instead of taking time to scroll and maybe like look at all what everybody else is doing, instead you should put your phone on airplane mode, go outside, get some fresh air, take some deep breaths. If you're into yoga or meditation, or even just taking a walk, or having a dance party to your favorite song in your living room, whatever it is that can spark a little bit of joy and make you feel good, get you in that right headspace that it can bring clarity, especially if we do something with a little bit of movement. That's why I mentioned walking, yoga, dance party in your living room, something like that. And then something mindful like deep breathing, and clearing your mind, so that then when you go and you sit down to write your content or put your post up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever platforms you're using, you're clear and connected to the core of who you are and your message, rather than, again, getting stuck in some kind of comparison game with everybody else or distracted by what other people are doing. So that's one of my top tips. Do not scroll before you post. Get into your zone, get into your, find your jam, and then sit down to write your content.
That is absolutely brilliant because every single person that is watching this probably has been down this path. And actually, I really messed up my sleeping rhythm because I am guilty of like being on the phone like this for 3 hours. Next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. and I'm not feeling great the next day. And this is a habit that it's bad, I'm still guilty of it. And I'm trying to do a thing where I like don't allow phones in the room, which I don't think is really like I can do that today, but I can do slowly do things such as now I bought myself a Kindle. And so that way I read before reading on my phone where the whole world is open to me. I'm just focused on the Kindle. So that's one thing that I'm doing. Another thing you said that was really interesting is don't try to create content and feel like it's like you're a slave to it. Instead, do what lifts you up. Why do you think people don't do that more and just post whatever they want? Is it judgment? Is it because they think there's a formula to get views? Like, what is it? Because I'm also puzzled for this too. I run out of things to post and I just find it to be like a burden sometimes.
Yeah, and that's a great question. Let me think here. Well, before we actually get into that, I kind of wanted to go back to what you were saying about the phone and things at like having a phone in your room. Some of the best things that you can also do are like turning off notifications. So even if we're on all of these platforms, we don't want to be a slave to them, and it can distract you from doing really important things in your business and taking aligned action on things that you really need to do if your phone is constantly going off and then you're just like paying attention or being a slave to all of the incoming messages. Like every time you get an email, if you go right to your emails, I'm a big believer in instead time blocking. So a couple of different things that you can do are turning off notifications or limiting the notifications that you have on your phone. So I will regularly turn off all of my Instagram, all of my Facebook, everything that I have, turn off the notifications for that. I keep my phone on do not disturb and airplane mode a lot. And then you want to have intentional time. So, if you say, okay, I need to spend 30 minutes a day on social media platforms, well, have it on your calendar, write it actually on your agenda. This time to this time, I'm on social media, and then actually go and spend that amount of time on social media and then turn off the notifications so that you're in control. You're kind of taking your power back in how you're running your day, how you're running your schedule, how you're running your business. And then you have set times throughout the day that again, you check and respond to emails. And when you go, you sit, you open the email once, you reply right away, and you handle it right then and there, rather than maybe, I know a lot of my clients sometimes struggle with, they'll like look at the email and then they'll go do other things and they get another email notification. And before they know it, hours have gone by and maybe they haven't got, actually accomplished some like really tangible things that they needed to get done. So being in control of those kinds of things is critical. And like you said, not bringing work into the bedroom is a really important part of getting good sleep, and turning your phone again on airplane mode at night so that you're turning off your Wi-Fi so that all of that added, energy and stimulus isn't coming into your restful space. It can actually help you get deeper sleep, and sleep is an important part of being an entrepreneur too, right? If we're not taking care of our minds and bodies, if we're not getting enough of that, restoration cycle at night, then you're going to wake up with low energy and probably immediately feeling distracted from some of your business goals. So use those tools, and again, take control of your time and your schedule.
Yeah, I mean, what you said is so good because I feel like as I scale my business and as I ramp up, I just cannot be refreshing every 2 seconds and then bouncing between Amazon.com and Instagram and Facebook. I'm literally going nuts. So I think time blocking is something that a really optimized and skillful entrepreneur knows how to do. It's something I'm still learning. Do you have any other tips on do you block out one day for all of your coaching calls and then like another day? Like, how do you time block? I know for everyone's different.
Yeah, so I do a couple of different things. I have so like Tuesday through Thursday from noon until 5 is basically when I allow my schedule to be filled up with certain things. I have a couple of clients that are maybe outside of this, but like that's my time that I allow my schedule to be open, and that I use in like my Acuity or my Calendly, like booking links. Like I have a specific amount of times that, hey, I'm going to see clients on these days. On Mondays, I don't see any clients. That's my day for me to do strategy and content planning and everything else. I like to kick off the week strong in that way, take care of bigger projects or things that I might be working on. I'm a coach for the Wellness Coach app. And so I often will be, I do like recording, recorded content with them. And so that's like my day where I might be writing and really get in my zone. Like I like to start my morning with an awesome morning routine of pumping myself up and envisioning my business scaling and envisioning working and attracting more of my ideal like soul clients. So I like to go through that little visualization and like see things coming into me, imagining myself attracting the kind of business, the kind of clients, and things that I want. I do my little dance party. I'm going to mention this multiple times because it's seriously one of the silliest little things that I do that really pumps me up. You got to have a favorite song and you got to have a favorite dance. And when you're feeling down in the dumps or you're feeling like distracted from things or maybe overwhelmed, like decision fatigue and, overwhelmed in general with like the things that you need to accomplish, that's going to put that pep back in your step and really like pump you up, lift you up. So I like to kick off my week like that. And then same thing on Fridays, I have like the morning hours. I do see some of my regular clients and have a couple of my regular sessions. And then Friday afternoons, I wrap up the week. That's where I'm closing down, finishing any loose ends on my projects. And again, I try to keep those afternoon hours free of things, unless like sometimes a podcast interview or something like that will come up and I'll fit it in where I need to. And so I don't 100% stick to that, but about 90%, 95% of the time, I stick to that schedule. And it's really, really helped me streamline things and create more traction in my business.
That is awesome. So I love the dance. I love the habit dance and turn on your airplane mode, turn off notifications and time block. Oh, and also when you open Instagram, don't just consume, like create first. So you've given us 6 or 7 really awesome things. I hope whoever's watching, you're taking notes because this is so gold right here. What about a morning routine, like a 10-minute morning routine that anyone can do? What do you recommend there? Because I'm not a morning person. And every time I get out of bed, I'm like, I go straight from the bed to my desk. And there are days where I don't even leave my desk for 8 hours. It's not healthy, but I need to cultivate a morning routine. So what advice do you have for me there?
This is one of my favorite topics because I love to make these things more approachable. I'm never that coach. I'm a Reiki master and a meditation and mindfulness teacher. I talk a lot about the chakras. So I do corporate coaching and then my work with my entrepreneur clients. And so half of it is business coaching, but the other half are things like this. Like how do we incorporate mindfulness and these mindfulness techniques in a way that's really streamlined with our day-to-day lives, where we don't have to, as an entrepreneur, you already have so much going on and you have so many things that you probably want to do and so much on your plate. Thinking about meditating for 30 minutes a day and then yoga or working out for an hour or things like this, it can't happen. It's not going to happen, especially if you're an early stage, founder or startup or something like that. So let's get practical. When you wake up in the morning, I don't know if anyone else here loves the snooze button, but I sure do. I hate getting up in the morning. Well, then that was something else I did. I don't take early morning clients anymore. Like I shifted my schedule because I'm more of a night person. And so I think that's important to recognize about yourself. I'm really creative at night. So I like to be up late. So I had to shift my schedule where I see clients later. And so when I get up, I hit the snooze button, but I stretch in my bed for that 10. So I hit the snooze for 10 minutes. And that's when I'm like, I lift my arms up over my head. I start to stretch. I do some little like wrist and ankle rolls. I bring my knees up into my chest and I start to just wake my body up. And every time works like a charm. After that 10-minute, when the alarm goes off again, after my 10-minute snooze, my body is starting to come alive and I'm starting to feel energized. I also put a glass of water with citrus. So like lemon is a really great way to finish the sleep cycle and the kind of like finish off your rest and repair cycle. Flush your body with some antioxidants and some water. So I know, hey, I'm not going to want to get up and immediately go downstairs, squeeze a lemon, blah, blah, blah. So I do it the night before and I have it sitting ready for me right by my bed. So after my little stretch, drink that water and I'm already thinking about what I want to create in my day. I'm not thinking about my to-do list and I'm not thinking about tasks. I'm thinking about who I want to attract in my business. So this requires knowing really, really well your ideal client. And I actually have, we can put in the comments here, but I have a free workbook on my website that you guys can all download to get really, really clear on who your ideal client is, who your soul client is. I go through, there's a lot of questions and a lot of information that's provided in there. It's been a huge success with my clients and getting really, really clear again on who you want to serve, because it can be really easy to start to say yes to too many opportunities that are outside of what you're meant to be aligned to if you're not really, really clear on that. And that's where those things like distraction and decision fatigue and overwhelm and overstimulus, like the comparison games, like all of that comes into your space if you're not super clear on that ideal client. All right. So back to the morning routine part of it. Once you know who that ideal client is, that's one of the first things that you're going to start to envision and imagine as you start your day. Again, don't get distracted with the to-do list. You're going to be thinking about who I am here to serve. And now you want to have almost like I call it like an avatar. You want to know, like have in your mind, be able to picture them. Maybe it's an existing client that you already have, or somebody in your life that you know that you can actually picture or imagine, and imagining yourself doing your greatest work, your soul, your passion work with that person. And you can do that while you're brushing your teeth, while you're putting your clothes on, while you're making breakfast, or I highly recommend a green juice. That's another one of my, like, I drink green juice all day long. Like, it's full of antioxidants. It keeps my brain, my mind fresh and clear. So you can kind of incorporate that visualization practice of imagining yourself doing your greatest work and attracting all of the clients that you wish to have while you're going through other parts of your morning routine that is normally when people's mind wander to stress stuff. So like when you're putting your clothes on, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're making your breakfast, or even when you're working out, it's really easy for the mind if it's untamed, if you're not consciously choosing your thoughts, just like we choose our clothes we wear, what we eat, you can choose your thoughts. So instead of letting your mind go to your stress, you're choosing to think about the power that you're really creating through your business and through your message. And I also am a big believer in affirmations. So I usually do affirmations in the morning as well. And I love to do them sometimes in the mirror. I don't do this part every day, but I highly recommend it. Mirror work is a phenomenal practice. Looking yourself in your face and pumping yourself up with those affirmations. Like, I am a powerful creator. I am incredible. I inspire people, myself included, and you're saying these things to yourself, looking in the mirror. It's almost impossible not to smile and feel really energized. So those are some different things that you guys can try out, and just remember how powerful that your thoughts are. And so what you're thinking about is going to trickle down into everything else, the action that you're taking, how you show up in the world, the kinds of conversations that you're having. So choose them wisely and pump yourself up. You're totally worthy and deserve it.
I am a powerful creator. I am worthy. All of those things. Yes. Thank you so much, Corene. I feel like, it's not morning now, but I feel like if I had this conversation earlier in my day, I would have such a pep to my step. So thank you for being here. You've given us 20 actionable specific tips. So for anyone that's watching, make sure you get the replay, take notes. And last but not least, how can people find you? How can people join your program if they want to optimize their mind to become their truest, highest selves?
Yes. So you can head over to my website, which is artisanpharmacy.com. Pharmacy is spelled like a farm, Farmacy. And I can definitely drop that down in the comments, the link to the guide. So if you just go and you put your name and your email, automatically allow you to download it, and we'll also follow up with an email with a copy of the PDF. And I highly recommend taking the time to do that. Again, if you're any kind of entrepreneur, early stage, or even if you're further along in your business, but maybe you never took the time to sit down and really outline the very, at a detailed level, who your ideal client is. It's a really important part of attraction and the manifestation process. If we don't know who we're going after that clearly, if we can't see them, like I said, if we don't have that perfectly clear avatar of who they are, then that's where all of the distraction and overwhelm comes from, because your action and activity can't be aligned if you don't know exactly where you're going, right? It sounds simple and but it's something that I found people overlook. And then that's how you end up saying yes to too many things and losing your boundaries and getting distracted from your real true goals. So definitely check that out. And then you can also find me on there at Artisan Pharmacy on Instagram and on Facebook. Please connect with me, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you.
And when you message Corene, she's so nice. Not only is she going to give you the free workbook, but ask her about the time that she detoxed from social media. I promise you, she'll have such a good story. We just don't have time to say it now, but she's just got so many wonderful tips. Thank you so much for being
I
here.
know, and I feel bad too, because if you asked another question earlier, and I kind of like I went back to something else that you said, and so I don't think we got to answer that. But yeah, maybe
But
we'll have to do this again.
but find her on social media and DM her the word social media detox, and she will tell you the story. I think that's actually a kind of a good follow-up action too, for people to engage with you. And you're going to be in the comments as well. So make sure that when we put this replay up, you're going to put down Artisan Pharmacy with an F and how people can download that workbook and just start thriving, right? It's 2021. It's time for us to really not just live, but start thriving. Thank you so much, Corene, for being here. Please, everyone, follow her at Artisan Pharmacy with an F, and let's keep the conversations going. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.